sick. Holy.
Alright, y'all, I know this is a bit of a big time jump, but the coilovers for the front and also the front brakes and everything are on. Sorry for not recording that much. We were kind of really struggling over the course of multiple days. Well, it wasn't really struggling in the sense, it was mainly just we were working in between other plans and obligations that we had to do like in our lives. So like, for example, like we got the coilovers and the brakes on, and then they started making this horrible like squealing noise. I think it was, and then we took it apart again, and it turned out to be like one of the front clips was rubbing against the motor or whatever because it wasn't pushed in all the way, and yada yada. But so that's that. But we have one more project, which is the baffled oil pan, which needs to go on still. Alright, now that we have the car jacked up, our first step is going to be removing this bottom windage tray thing so we can get this part of the exhaust off, so then we can actually get the oil pan off. And I think, what is it, like we got like what, 10s, 10 there, probably 10 there, 10 there, so just a whole lot of 10s. Crusty. Plastic. No, they're metal. Okay, you gotta remember these hollow tipped ones go on the ends of this cover. Shit, what the? Okay, well that came out. We have a little plastic retainer guy. Finish getting the other side off. All right, we finally got the windage tray off. All of that. I don't know. Given how annoying that was, I don't know if I'll give a fuck enough to put it back on, but we'll think about that later. In the meantime, now we gotta get this heat shield guy off for the top of the headers. Now, what we're actually gonna do here is gonna use a little bit of PB Blaster just to loosen up these bolts right here. What the fuck is this knot? There you go. Just because they've been on here for God knows how long, it's probably a good idea to get some penetrant in there, and I'm probably going to do the same for all the exhaust bolts too. Alright, so despite the crustiness, and maybe with some help with the PB Blaster, these heat shield bolts are actually coming off okay, so that's a good sign. Especially considering what may be underneath this guy here. Hey there, thanks to anyone to hold those for me. And now, it should just, is there more? Can't tell if that's another one down there or not. Guys, don't mind my stupidity, but there's literally another bolt right here that I'm just apparently too blind to realize. So we're gonna need a 12 mil for him. Here you go. Let's see if he just wants to come off. Okay, so to hit any of the AC stuff. Oh, okay, there we go. Perfect. Didn't bend any of this. No, sir. Success. After that, you probably just want to take this dipstick out. Right, just like so. Damn, she's low on oil already. Light up something clean. It's probably not low, it's just that the engine's tilted up hella. Go and shake this guy. Now, he came off with just a little bit more persuasion, but yeah, I don't think that thing's ever been off, or any of this has really ever been off, so I'm expecting to deal with a lot more crusty bolts and whatnot, but as per usual, we're gonna grab this guy, Mr. PB Blaster, and have him work on some of these bolts, because I don't want to have any of these bolts or nuts or what may have you snapping on me. So these bottom bolt guys are gonna be a 14 on a wrench because you can't really fit a socket in here. So let's just give her a go and hope for the best. I think it's a 12 socket on the other side that we have to hold it with, but I'm not sure if that's welded on to or part of this flange, but I guess we'll find out. Ugh, pressed it. Alright, so we gotta go up. Fuck. Alright, so we finally got it loose. It was not that, honestly, that bad. I just had to like hold here and give it a few whacks with my hand and it broke loose. But yeah, this bolt on the back isn't part of the flange, so you actually do have to get your ratchet or whatever and spin it off on the other side too, but just like that. I'll hit the other side real quick too. Okay, finally these two bolts off, but I just realized that probably be helpful if we did something to disconnect this O2 sensor connector here. See if it'll just come off. Okay, so I've discovered that all that guy did wasn't hold the connector on, but he held the connector on, or like I guess this both of them on to this little focus, come on, to this bracket right there. Come on, right there, like with the tip of my shadows pointing. So we have to actually disconnect the connector from here. Let's see if I can one-hand it. It's just that. Now we're gonna have to tune this real quick. Okay, just like that. I disconnected those two. Sorry, I can't show it on camera, but I assume if you guys have enough of a brain to buy a baffled oil pan for your car instead of some other really immature mods, that I'm assuming that you have the senses to be able to disconnect a connector. Now for the exhaust manifold bolts, it's just, you know, business as usual. Just kind of put your ratchet there and give it a little bit of a crank. There we go. Not that bad. I'll go knock out the rest of this real quick. Alright, got all the bolts out. You can see I made this little map here to kind of map out where each bolt went, even though like these are all the same size bolts except for these two nuts on each end. But I don't know, it's kind of a neat trick to do when you're not sure if there's going to be different size bolts or studs or nuts or whatever going on the same piece of metal. So yeah, better safe than sorry. So we're gonna try and get this guy out now. Ooh. Okay. I think I may have to disconnect the bottom guy first. I think I found the issue, guys. Appears to be a little bracket guy right here. It's holding these two 12s on. I'm just gonna bust off real quick. Oh, that's easy. So easy. So I mean, that's just to line up everything nicer. Okay, let me let him off. So I just had to kind of lift it up and pry it off those two studs and that guy. Now it should just theoretically come on right out. There's the donut. Let me try and get it off on the top. Alrighty, so stuck on that guy. Shit. This bleeder valve for the clutch is getting in the way. Shit. Okay, hold on, let me deal with this. Alright guys, that was a little bit of a pain in the ass because of this this clutch bleed line right here, and all this AC power steering crap was really tight fit, but we got it out. I really recommend replacing this gap. I have a new one of these, and I highly recommend replacing this just because it's probably never been replaced, so it's a good idea to get it over with. But yeah, that's our exhaust manifold off. Now we are going to drain the oil and all that. Is that, I wonder right there. Oh. Well, something's definitely happening over here. That's pressed in, huh? Oh, I wonder how to deal with that. Might tap it or something with a little hammer and try and get it in there tighter so it doesn't leak as much, but yeah, that's weird. And then as you can see here, it's either from that or from also other places that we might have our wheel pan gasket might be leaking. So it's a good thing we're getting this over with, huh? So yeah. I mean, it's kind of like we just killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Alright guys, we just dropped the oil, and I just swapped out the filter too. So that, obviously because we're dropping the oil pan, I might as well just do an oil change too, but. So yeah, that's filter swapped, oil's dropped, and we're gonna start working on these oil pan bolts right here. First we have to remove this little faceplate here to get this lip off the pan. So this is a 10 here and a 10 here, and then we just zip off all these bolts that hold the pan on. I already took one out, and yeah, there's like these studs here to actually help align and stuff too. So just be mindful of that. Let's see if we can get this off. There's impact. I just finished cutting all the bolts out for that little plate guy. Remember, they're all different sizes, so just be mindful of where to them went, or alternatively, you can also like make a map out of it like I did. And now we can get started on the oil pan bolt, which should be pretty easy considering we have this guy. I think these are all the same size, but I don't want to get too careful. That look the same. And these bolts are oily. Alright, so we got all the bolts and nuts off. So now we're just going to take a little flathead and try and gently pry this guy off. I don't know if he wants to though. Oh, there we go. Nice and gently. Okay. Let's see this. You guys are now getting the view from my ratchet. That's our old pan. Whew. Let's see how our pickup looks. Actually gonna start unboxing. This is our gasket right here, by the way. We're gonna start unboxing this oil pan. So right off the bat, obviously it's a nice looking oil pan. It has the baffles which we need. You can see there's this little varnish here that I'm probably gonna try and wipe off, and then these bung plugs, right? They're not tight. I'm pretty sure you can hear that rattle, right? So yeah, that's the same with this one. So that needs to be fixed. I'm gonna tighten those real quick. I don't know if I need any sort of like thread sealing or anything in there. I'm gonna vote no, but let's see how she plugs first. Another thing I noticed kind of off the bat was that this oil plug, as you can see, it's kind of like slanted. You can see that. It's like almost like it's cross-threaded, which I just took it out and put it back in, and it goes in perfectly. So the threads, I'm pretty sure, are okay. Here, let's just see how it's like coming out at an angle. We got everything set up. We cleaned up the mating surface, got all the old RTV off, and got the new gasket set up, so we're actually ready to go. Just want to show you guys the difference between the Moroso one and the normal oil pan. As you can see here, very little to no baffling for the oil, so it can slosh around if you're turning really quickly on track or any other, mount or whatever. But here we have a fat baffle to keep all that oil in place. So I'm gonna line this thing up and hopefully we can get this guy done in one go. I might just set the phone down somewhere, right? Hopefully I don't kick that over. Alright, now that I got the oil pan all mounted up, it's time to hit the torque of 9 foot-pounds around the whole pan. There is a torque sequence, which I'll include on the screen somewhere. But this is probably going to be the only torque sequence we care about today, to be honest. But yeah, this is pretty important so it doesn't leak. We're going to hit this real quick. Well, guys, I don't know what to tell you, but I have this set right at 9 foot-pounds. I clicked this stud. I was gonna go to this one in the sequence, but you can see he went and cracked on me. So now we're kind of cooked. I don't know what to do about this. I can try and reverse drill bit, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll keep you guys posted. Well, I'm proud to proclaim to everyone that crisis has been averted. I was able to get the broken bolt out. I just had to be a little bit creative, but yeah. Be careful with your cheap torque wrenches, guys. I think I'm just gonna hand snug all the bolts from here on out to what my brain feels like 9 foot-pounds are. And but first I have to find a bolt solution for this. Because obviously this is broken now. Just had a quick stop at Napa. Got a new bolt. Slightly smaller, but that's all they had, and it'll probably be fine. So I'm with another bolt and a red bolt to keep my morale up. But yeah, let's see how this goes. Alright, we got the oil pan all torqued down. I just went, I guess, like snug plus a little something for every single bolt. I don't know, I'm too afraid to use that torque wrench anymore just because it obviously lied to me when that bolt snapped. So hopefully it doesn't leak, but I'm not going to be too mad if it does. It's definitely just my torque wrench's problem, but yeah, that's what we're working with. I think it'll be fine. I'll show you, we got a fresh new donut to put on this bad boy. So hopefully that fits up alright. I might have to put that on after I actually get everything in, like, semi-mounted in the car. We'll see. So yeah, now I'm gonna stop recording everything too much, but I'm just gonna start spam throwing everything back together. I'll let you guys know if anything goes wrong. Alright, well, we got everything buttoned up and she runs fine, but the only thing is that she does leak a little bit of oil, but I even put this back on. Little windage tray. I hope you guys are proud of me. But she does leak a tiny bit of oil, but it's not where you would think. I don't think it's from, at least not right now, it's not from the actual oil pan gasket, but it's from this bung right there. I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of dribbling some oil down there. I don't know, I think it's leaking so little that I kind of don't care right now. I think I'll probably deal with it the next oil change, because I don't want to dump all the oil I just put into it. But I think next oil change I'll probably run some thread sealer on it and then pop her back in, and hopefully she becomes fine. Other than that, she's fitted up pretty great. And yeah, we have no other leaks, no exhaust leaks, no other oil leaks, yada yada, so we're buttoned up pretty alright, I think.